It's November. That means it's National Novel Generation Month. This is the month where people generate novels using code. And if you're in my creative coding class, that's your assignment for this month. You should be working on a novel in code. So this is a video that I'm going to create. I'm creating this video to show you in a couple minutes how to make a novel. In NaNoGenMo and NaNoWriMo and other things like this, for whatever reason, 50,000 words is our target. We're going to write a novel that's 50,000 words in a couple minutes here. I'm not going to give myself an exact time, but I think it'll be certainly less than 10 minutes, probably more like 2 minutes. Let's see how it goes. So this is going to be done in Python. I've got a Python notebook environment set up here with Jupyter Notebook. I'm just going to run straight through it and make a novel. Now, what one defines as a novel, again, is 50,000 words. There's no quality expectation, there's no genre expectation, so we're just going to do 50,000 words and be happy with it, I guess. So let's make my novel. This is going to be Python notebook. I'll just call it my novel. And here we go. So first of all, I'm going to make just a variable, a string here, call it novel, initialize it here, and then I'm going to add words to this to make it my novel. There are examples of novels that have been generated for NaNoGenMo that consist of one word or just 2 words over and over again forever. And according to the constraint, 50,000 words, that counts. So I'm going to do that right now. So I'm going to say for I, just as a generic iterator thing. Let me make this a little bit bigger so I can make it easier for you all to see. There we go. So for I is just my generic iterator here. In range, I'm going to say 50,000. Is that the right number of zeros? I think so. I'm going to add, for each one of those runs, each 50,000 of those, I'm going to add a new words to my novel. And after it's run 50,000 times, I'll have a novel that I can print. I'm going to use the word avocado. And I'll just go ahead and stick a space. I'll put a space in there so that when they print, they'll all look like, actually, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to do this iteratively. So I'm going to do it, first of all, just adding the word avocado. And then I'm going to print, this is Python 3, so I'm going to print with parentheses, print my novel. And oops, what did I do wrong? Oh, right, it's not called text, it's called novel. There we go. Now this is my novel. Just displaying here in the cell output here. It's a lot of words, a lot of letters, certainly hard to read as words, so if we add a couple things, we can make that look a little bit more like a prose novel here without a space, and so now I at least can see that there are words separating each of these. Avocado, 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 on and on forever. Well, not forever, 50,000 words. All right, so I've got a novel, I'm done. Except I'm not satisfied with this. This technically meets the requirements. If you're in my class, this does technically fulfill the requirements for the assignment. It's the minimal requirements though, and I hope that you'll recognize as you produce a novel like this that it's not really intellectually satisfying. It doesn't really even look like a novel yet, and we can certainly do some things to make it look more novel-like. So let's try a few of those things. Just to give it a little bit more variety, I'm going to import random because random is always good, and I'm going to add a little bit of variety. So it's not just always avocado, but every now and then it's going to follow that with some punctuation. So to do that, I'm going to take this space out of the thing that I'm adding there, and I'm just going to say I'm going to roll the dice here. I'm going to roll it. I'm going to roll the random int function, and I'm going to ask for a value between 0 and 100. And I'm going to save that in R, and that's going to be like my frequency thing. So this is going to determine how often it is, how often I want something to happen. So R is going to be some number between 0 and 100. So now I can say if R is less than, let's say, 10, that's going to be something that happens 10% of the time because that's randomly what I've got here. So if it happens 10% of the time, I'm going to, instead of just adding the word avocado, I'm also going to add some punctuation. So I could add just a period, see how that looks. And then at the end, I'm going to add my space as well so that I'm separating the spaces here. So it's not going to be, so this way, when I do add a punctuation, it's going to add the space after that punctuation, and that should look right. So let's see how this looks. 10% of the time, it's going to add a period. Yeah, see, there's a period. There's a few other periods. Okay, so it's starting to look a little bit like sentences, not quite yet, and we'll see what happens. Let's see if we can get there. So, all right, so this is okay, but not perfect yet. I can also give it some more. While I'm at it here, let me add some more options for punctuation. I'm I'm just going to use the random choice function and just make a list in place right here of different punctuation, different in punctuation. So I could have saved this as a list and a separate list variable and then passed that variable into the choice function, but I decided this will be quicker if I just type it all out here and construct it on the fly. So if I create a list using square bracket notation, it'll just use this list as the thing to choose from using the choice function. So do question marks, exclamation point, I don't know, semicolon. No, I don't. I'll just. Yeah, we'll do in punctuation. We'll save in the middle of the sentence punctuation for later. So okay, what did I do wrong? Oh, yeah. Should be a comma. Okay, so now it's sometimes the avocado is surprised. Sometimes it's interrogative. Okay, so we're getting somewhere. Now, most of the time sentences start with a capital letter, and so I should do something to transform avocado sometimes. So what I'm actually going to do is move the adding of the word avocado here, and so you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do something different. So I'm going to add paragraph breaks next, and then that'll help me think about what to do next. Okay, so I'm also going to say at the end of every, let's say if I roll 4% of the time, so this is going to be 4% of the time. I'm also going to be ending at since this is less than 4 and that's less than 10, those two things are going to happen at the same time. And I'm going to put line breaks here, so that's going to make sure that every paragraph ends in punctuation. So let me add that in here. So in this environment, the \n is a line break, so putting 2 of them is going to look like a paragraph. See how that looks. Hey, all right. It's okay, I guess. Some interesting things happening on the front because of the way that's being added. Oh yeah, because that's coming after, but that's all right. That's looking pretty good. So see what's happening is I'm adding my space after I've added the line breaks, and so when it goes down to the next line here, it's going to stick that first space on there. I think that's a little awkward, so I'm going to see if I can think of a different way to add the spaces in here. So one way would be to add it just after the punctuation. After the punctuation question. So it's not happening after the line breaks, but it's happening after punctuation happens. Let's see if that did what I wanted. Yeah, it looks like it did. Yeah, so now each paragraph at least starts fully justified to the left, so that it looks like it's it's flowing across there. Okay, so that's getting somewhere. Okay, so the other thing I should do, I need to figure out how to make the next word after I do in punctuation have start with a capital letter. And let me think about this for a second. Okay, I think I got it. I had to think about something else. So I think my issue is that I'm trying to do too many things at once here. I need to actually check for, I need to put my check for line breaks at the other end of the roll, the random roll here. Those should not be always attached to the same event because those are going to be slightly different when they happen. That was the issue I was having. Right, so whenever I've ended a sentence, that means my next word is going to be avocado with a capital A. Avo. It's hard to spell. So otherwise, it's just going to be avocado. In fact, I can do this. I don't need this twice. So I'm putting the space on the front of my word, and I'm doing it, I'm making sure that the next word is going to be capitalized there in line 12 after I've ended with punctuation, so that's good. And then every time I roll something above 96, so that's going to happen 4% of the time, I'm going to break a line and make it look like a new paragraph. But to do this, I'm going to add this, a couple of things here so that I make sure that it ends correctly. So I'm going to make sure it ends on punctuation, then I'm going to do the line breaks, and then actually, no. I can do it on this line. I'll just put avocado here and with a capital A after those line breaks, and I think we might have something, okay, interesting. Something strange happened there. Why is that happening? So let me think through this. It starts off on this, and then it's making all these double words for some reason. So I've missed something apparently. So let me see. So front on there, front on there. Oh, that's right, because I got this down here still. I don't need that anymore. Hey, there we go. The only issue, as you can see, is it starts off without one because the randomness hasn't kicked in yet. So I can fix that pretty easily just by starting off, making sure I start off with a capital A, avocado. Great, now I have a novel. So that took like 10 minutes, but you know, technically I had a novel a while ago. Now I've just got a slightly better looking novel. It's not really that much better than it was 10 minutes ago, honestly, but it looks more like a novel, and if you were to print it out, it would say it like this. So the choice of the word avocado here, by the way, isn't entirely arbitrary. One of my kids in my favorite books is called I'm Just No Good at Rhyming, and I'm blanking on the author's name. I should make sure to credit him. But he has a poem in that book where the entire text of it is just the word avocado, avocado, avocado. And then at the end of it, he ends with the word sock. So I'm going to make sure that my novel ends with the word sock as well. So my kids will, at least they will get the reference. And I will make sure that that's on its own line with a period. I think that sounds good. And then let me scroll all the way to the end of my novel to see how it looks. Sock. There you go. It ends. So that's my novel. Obviously, there's lots more I could do with this. I could make chapters. I could, you know, maybe even think about illustrations, change some words out. But I think this is good enough for a simple novel. So thanks for watching. And the next time, I'm going to show you how to make a novel using Markov chains.